The Stage Door Show, celebrating the independent artist, with Dave Hondel and Tom Kline.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to The Stage Door tonight. This is Dave Hondel. I got my co-host, Tom Kline, down in the Orlando area. How you doing, Tom?
I'm doing well.
There he is. We have with us tonight, we're kind of excited here because we have the winners of our casting call, part 2. So out in Los Angeles, we have Beraud. How you doing, Beraud?
I'm great. How are you?
We're doing great. And, you know, I loved your original music that you submitted. And you also submitted our last casting call, too. We've enjoyed your music both times. And, you know, again, talk about your music and talk about your original songs and how what inspiration do you have to write your music and what's your process like?
Okay, sure. I originally started writing music because I really loved singing.
It's been 5 days since I saw you. Don't know how I go on. I say you don't miss me, and you tell me I'm wrong, but I can't fight this feeling. I messed it all up, 'cause 5 days without you, you say it's made up.
And I wanted an excuse to sing. I started writing music when I was like a teenager. I think I started writing poetry first. And then like I started trying to put stuff to music, and I really loved the Spice Girls. I loved Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. So I was writing like a lot of bubblegum pop at the time. And I kind of gave up music after high school because, you know, I wasn't like a very good singer and I wasn't a very good songwriter either. So I started doing acting for a while.
Let's talk about that, because let's talk about that real quick. When you say you weren't really good, but, you know, it was probably fantastic at the time. It just, you know, maybe it just had to grow into it a little bit.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, like, nobody starts out good. And the thing is that I was never taught that, like, writing and, like, singing were a skill that you could develop. I always thought it was, like, a natural gift that people either had or not. Because I grew up in, like, the American Idol generation. And, like, everybody would, like, lie about how much training they've had. And, like, people would deny how much work things take. So I thought that you either had it or you don't. So I was, like, in high school. I didn't know any better. I'm like, I don't have it, so I'm not going to do it. But then over time, I realized that it was definitely a skill that you can develop, which is so, like, awesome and hopeful. Because, like, I love singing, but, like, you know, nobody's born knowing how to sing. I didn't know that. I thought people came out of the womb knowing how to sing, because there's still, like, singers to this day. I'll, like, ask them who their vocal coach is, and they'll completely deny having any training. And it's like, I look at their resume and you see vocal coaches on there. I'm like, why are they lying to me? It's so weird. But yeah, my writing was really bad, but, like, it should be bad. I was, like, a beginning writer, you know. I was writing bubblegum pop. My singing was not good, but, like, I hadn't had enough training. So, like, of course it's not going to be good, you know. So I started writing music again, like, 6 years ago, because I really wanted to sing. And I was like, you know what, if I just write really effective lyrics, like, people aren't going to care what my voice sounds like. Like, I really love, like, Leonard Cohen. I'm like, he's one of, like, my songwriting idols. So I'm like, I'm going to be like Leonard Cohen. And then I've been writing ever since, and I've been working on my voice ever since too.
Well, I mean, Leonard Cohen, and what a great, you know, person to, you know, to have an influence. I mean, he's great, you know, beautiful voice and some of the most famous songs. You know, so talk about, you know, your writing. You know, you said you kind of developed over time. And when you write your music, do you usually write your words first and then the melody later, or vice versa, or do you do both?
Yeah, so when I first started writing, I would always write the words first. Right now, I do a lot of writing for other people, so they'll usually send me a track. And when they send me a track, I usually come up with the melody first. But if I don't have anything, I will either come up with the words first, or I will get my guitar and simultaneously come up with the words and the melody. But I think you get a better melody if you come up with the melody first.
Melody first. I always respect you and other songwriters that can do that, and to marry both the melody and the lyrics together. I mean, that's such a skill that, like I said, it maybe doesn't happen right away, but over time it develops. But I worked with a lot of songwriters. I worked with a lot of musicians, and I have so much respect for somebody who can take words and put them to, and even act the actors that we have on the call tonight as well. The fact that you can take a piece of work and actually portray it in a way that it'll create emotion. And I mean, I watched your works, all of you guys, over and over and over again, because it was just amazing to me to, you know, to create that emotion over something that's written on paper, whether it's through music or whether it's through spoken word or whatever. It's just amazing to me that you guys have the ability to do that. So I respect the world. I mean, of you guys and what you guys can do. So, you know, thank you for submitting and sharing your you know, your talent with us. I appreciate that. Thank you, Beraud.
Yeah, thank you for having the conference.
Of course, absolutely. And then Edwin, we have Edwin Aguila. How you doing, sir?
I am doing pretty good. How you doing, Dave?
We're doing good. And I know you're out of Brooklyn.
Yep.
New York is near and dear to my heart. You know, that's where I've worked for the last 9 years, so I'm very familiar with Brooklyn. In fact, I spent a lot of time in the Dumbo area. That's where my doctor and my dentist is in Dumbo. So I spent a lot of time out there. So I love Brooklyn. So, you know, talk about your work, because I know the last time we had a casting call, you submitted Hamilton, and we had our judges, one of our judges, Chris Rice, is touring with Hamilton, and obviously, you know, kind of stalled right now up in Toronto. But I know he loved your work a lot, and you know, him being in Hamilton and loving your work. I mean, that's gotta you know, say something, right?
That was amazing. Actually, it was actually an original piece I submitted. I wrote that song myself, along with featured artists on my mixtape. The song is called Bodega Bumpin'. It was a kind of a tribute, but also like just showing pride as a Puerto Rican, coming from New York. And yeah, I'm also like inspired by, you know, Hamilton and In the Heights, which I hope I get to see in June if it still comes out. But yeah, like it was so amazing seeing like somebody touring Hamilton and then seeing it like they sing my work. It was kind of surreal.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then also In the Heights, you mentioned In the Heights. That's another one of my favorite shows as well. And it's a great dancing song. It's great, or a movie or show, I mean, and also a movie coming out. And, you know, just the works, you know, that, you know, Lin-Manuel Miranda puts together some amazing, you know, amazing shows. So that's a good one to sing songs from.
Yo, I'm just saying. It's silly when we get into these crazy hypotheticals. You really want some bread, to go ahead, create a set of goals and cross them off the list as you pursue them. And with those 96, I know precisely what I'm doing. What am I doing? What am I doing? It takes most of that cash just to save my ass from financial ruin. Sonny can keep the coffee brewing. I spend a few on you, cause the only room with the view is a room with you in it. And
the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is, you do drama as well. Do you do acting as well?
I do acting. I was going to submit a monologue next time if it's still possible, or if I didn't get selected. But yeah, I do partake in acting. I started in college about 4 years ago, or actually, when did I graduate? 2017, 7 years ago. Oh my gosh. And I started, I wanted another hobby to do while in college besides music. And so I started taking acting classes and just developing my craft in that area. And I have fun with it as well. So.
Do you like getting on stage?
I do. Like, I consider myself a performer, whether I be acting, performing music, whatever it is. I feel like the stage is my calling.
Well, that's amazing. You know, and then I know somebody you know that's also on the call is Monica. How you doing, Monica?
Right.
Doing good.
Are you okay? You were frozen there for a second, so I was like, is she gonna be with us? there she is. So Monica, you know, also you submitted an amazing monologue.
Thank you.
Again, very, very you know, moving, emotional, and you know, and Allison, you as well. I mean, you both. I mean, all the monologues were amazing, and I really enjoyed all of them. And so anyway, talk about what you do and your work and what influences you, or what maybe, let's put it this way, a little better way to ask this. What influenced you to become an actor?
It was me. Now let me stop.
No, it was
It was all Edwin.
no, absolutely not. It was a very hard journey to get to acting, but for me, like what influenced me was Edwin and I were in a show together, Generation NYZ, 2 years ago, and then last year too. And I was originally just going to do the show and be done with performing, but during one of the shows, this woman came up to me crying with her son trailing behind her, and she's like, "Thank you so much for what you did."
Wow.
I was like, "Oh my God, like that's an amazing feeling to have reached out to someone in like such a profound way." And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll stick with acting, see where it takes me. And you know, since then, what's motivated me to like try and give it my best and give it my all has been trying to connect with people in some way.
Well, I'll take the little car. I'll move to Victorville or Vegas or Los Angeles. I don't really know at this point. I ain't slept in that bed since you left for the field. For 2 months, I slept outside, sometimes naked, half hoping those coyotes would eat me. I thought, God, I'm so stupid. I thought, no, I can't leave you while you're out in the field. You come back to an empty home. So out of fairness, a sense of justice, I'll make you see that I'm drowning in the sand and the cold, and you decide for me.
And
Right.
yeah, that's what I did for
Yeah, well, you did it with us when you submitted your lovely work. So thank you for your submission. It was amazing.
You.
And then Allison, you as well. I mean, your monologue was incredible, and it really moved me a lot. I mean, I was like, okay, this is one of our winners, because I mean, your piece really moved me, and it was just amazing. And talk about you as well. I mean, how long have you been acting?
I've been acting since I was probably like 7.
Wow.
So, well, I started dancing when I was really little, and then I like kind of got into theater, I think when I was probably like 7 or 8, and it was never like a real passion of mine when I was that young, but as I grew up, I sort of discovered that it was something that I really wanted to do and something that I was really passionate about. I just sort of fell in love with it as I grew up and in high school, and so I was like, okay, I want to study this in college, and I want this to be what I want to do.
Disconnected, hovering, alone, lonely, just like me, but I was awake and he was asleep. That was the difference. He was asleep. I felt I had to whisper. I felt like pain and loneliness, life, had put him to sleep forever, and so we all had to be very careful and whisper, because if he woke up, he'd wake up screaming. And I looked all over the church at all those people sound asleep, dead asleep, asleep forever and ever, because everyone, if they woke up, would wake up screaming.
And in Boston as well. I mean, Boston is a good performing town as well, like New York, and
Right.
there's good theater there. And so what are some of the places like regional theaters, or what kind of theaters do you act in? I mean, is it regionally or community or?
Well, so I'm actually a freshman at Emerson College right now. I'm in their acting program.
Nice.
So basically I was supposed to be in a show there this semester, but obviously that was canceled. So, but just growing up, I did a lot of theater with the Massachusetts Educational Theater Guild. I did that for about like 4 years, just performing, did a lot of theater with my school. I did a lot of competitions growing up too. So I actually don't live for school. I obviously live in the city, but when I'm at home, I'm from the suburbs of Boston, so I'm not actually in the city. So I did a lot of theater with my school in in my town, and then ever since then I've just been doing theater at school with Emerson.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, keep it up. I mean, you're, all of you on the call right now, keep up what you're doing, because it's definitely working. It's amazing. We really enjoy it. And again, like I said, Tom and I, we have, we've kind of been in the business for a while, and we know quite a few people who watch our shows and listen to our podcasts, and and they all enjoy us doing these casting calls. So again, we like to see those submissions, and even the people who are honorable mentions or didn't get anything, we've seen some amazing stuff out there from them as well. So it's all about artists supporting each other and being supportive, and just enjoying everybody's talents. So that's why we do this. And Tom, I'm going to throw this over to you for a second, because I know, being a director and a writer, you've worked with actors and singers for years and years and years, including my own kids who are now growing. When they were younger, Tom had them in a lot of his shows on stage. So talk about working with talent, working with actors and singers, and what it means to have like that audience member walking up afterwards crying, like was mentioned before by Monica. What does that mean to you as a director to see stuff like that?
Oh, I when Monica was talking, I was thinking about it. To me, I have a friend who told me years ago, when I first started getting involved in theater, that she never feels more alive than when she's on that stage. And I think for all of you, there is something about the rush that you get when the audience responds, when they laugh or when they cry or when they're moved, and you can feel it. And a quick story that I'll tell you all, I wrote there are fringe festivals that are all over the country and all over the world, actually. And we have one of the big ones here in Orlando. And years ago, which was the show Dave came to see, it was an original show that I wrote. It was called The Lighter Side of Suicide. And it was fairly well attended. It wasn't great. It was rainy all the time. But after one of the shows, it was a very anti-suicide show. And after one of them, I was walking over to the beer tent, and my wife called me back and said, "Hey, this guy wants to talk to you." And this reminds me of what you said, Monica. There was this young man that was there. He was Latino. He was gay, obviously gay. And he told me that he had come to see the show because the title was The Lighter Side of Suicide, and he had attempted suicide like 5 times in his life already. But after seeing my show, he said, "I will never do it again." And we talked for like a half an hour about everything he had been through. And those are the moments when that woman came up to you, when somebody comes up to you and they're clearly moved. There is no feeling like that in the world. That's just amazing. So all of you, keep doing what you're doing, because you'll never feel more alive than when you're on that stage.
Yeah, and I interviewed Ed Asner a few days ago, and he's 90 years old, but this guy's been in movies and some of the biggest television shows in the world, and one of his favorite memories is being on stage and just connecting with that audience in a one-man show or whatever he's doing, just connecting with the audience and the other actors and having that chemistry. And he said that he hates to travel, but when he's on that stage, it's all worth it, because it's you have that feeling that you'll just keep with you the rest of your life, to be able to connect with somebody or to affect somebody in a way that they're always going to remember your performance. And I think there's nothing more powerful than singing the perfect song, or Beraud writing that perfect song, right? The perfect original work, and then having somebody be affected by it and moved by it. I just think that there's nothing better in the world. What I want to do is go through, and now Edwin, let's talk about your social media. Where can people find your work and your videos?
Sure. So my username on Instagram is at Edwin Aguila, EDWINAGUILA. I post most of my videos of just me performing raps or even acting, which will come soon. And yeah, there's also a link in the bio for my mixtape, which dropped last Christmas Eve, where I worked really hard on it. And even though it's not perfect, it's one of my bodies of work that I worked really hard on to, you know, put it out there and put love out for New York City. And yeah.
You know, Edwin, also, I wanted to, you know, talk about what you're doing now. I mean, during the quarantine, you know, have you been able to write any more music and to, you know, you have any projects that you're working on right now?
Sure. So I've been writing rhymes, just not necessarily songs, but just rhymes just to keep my mind flowing, or freestyle when I can. And then the theater company that I was supposed to do a show with actually around this time, or even like a week ago, gave us a project to do during the quarantine. And I thought about many things to do, but instead of doing like rapping or acting, I decided to challenge myself and do visual art. So I'm going to use like Photoshop and have collage pictures and create something to symbolize hope during this time. And I thought that was something that really touched me, especially since my mom is also in the health field, and I feel for her safety every time she's out.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the projects I'm working on, as well as, you know, just doing what I can to be in that creative mind. I didn't have that before the quarantine due to, you know, being stressed with the job and you know, trying to be in shape and all that stuff.
Well, Edwin, I mean, when that comes out or when you're ready to put that out, let us know and we'll highlight it on our page as well. Okay.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
What's funny was that I was on a Zoom call with them, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to be on a podcast. And they were like, yeah, let us know when that's going to come out. So,
hey, we're all helping each other, right?
Right. Right. But,
so yes, yeah, make sure you let us know about that, and we'll put that on our page for sure.
No doubt. I'm going to work on it as soon as I can.
All right, cool. Beraud, now what have you been working on, and how can we find you on social media?
I've been working on so much. I love the quarantine. Like, I had no time for anything before.
We do too, right?
It's amazing.
Right.
Seriously, because there's no distractions. Like, I don't have a day job I have to go to. Like, I don't have a social life anymore because I can't. So it's like,
what else do you do, right?
Can focus on his work. Yeah, which is
right.
awesome. Because usually, like, even like when I don't have a lot to do, like work-wise, like in like normal life, I would always be like, I want to hang out with friends. I want to see my friends. I want to like go do this with friends. Like, now I can't. All I can do is like practice singing, write music, practice acting. I've been doing like all the acting open calls. I've been trying to practice singing as much as possible. I've been doing like virtual voice lessons. I've been doing virtual voice lessons with this vocal coach. She usually only teaches when I'm at work, and now I don't have work, so I've been able to coach with him. I've been writing with new writers. I'm in this group called Quarantunes. I'm
I like that.
Like a songwriting group that like we meet every week and we come up with a new song. We co-write with a new person every week and come up with a new song. Gosh, I've been doing so much. It's been awesome. I've been finally catching up and like stressed with like all these open calls that are happening. Slightly catching up. But you can find me on Instagram, Beraud Music, Beraud Music. You can find me on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Beraud. You can find me on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Play, Google Play, all the music platforms, Beraud. And my website, beraudmusic.com.
Well, that's awesome. And again, if you have any new projects coming out, let us know about them so we can highlight them for sure.
Yeah, I'll definitely be releasing some of these co-writes that I've been doing because some of them have been amazing.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. You know, I'm glad that you're taking the quarantine, but all of you guys to work on your craft, basically your music and acting. So, Monica, how about yourself? You know, how can we find you? And are you working on anything right now?
Well, you can find me on Instagram under my name, Monica Tatacoya, MONICA TATACOYA. And I'm not really working on anything right now. I'm in school, so I'm taking my classes, but
busy.
Yeah, but there wasn't any like theater production that I was interested in joining this semester, so like I didn't really miss out on anything. But I'm still working my day job, so I don't have as much time as others to work on my craft. But I am taking the time to read more plays and try and find more monologues to work on to like not lose that edge I have on my craft right now.
Yeah, definitely keep working on them when you have time, because you're definitely a very talented actor, and we really enjoyed your submission. So keep that up, and it's great that you're still working. I'm not. A lot of us aren't. So I mean, so that's good that you're working. So yeah, it's a blessing for sure.
You're working harder now than you were when you were working.
I'm busier now than I was. I mean, I'm burning the candle at both ends here. But thank you, Monica. I appreciate it. And Allison, how about yourself? I know you're in school. I bet finals are coming up, right?
Yeah, actually, this week was finals week, so I had my last finals today.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah. So basically, I've been doing theater classes online on Zoom, which has been definitely different, but also fascinating at the same time, because most of my classes are studio classes, so I'm very used to being in person and acting like with a bunch of other people. So it's been an experience learning it online, but it's also been cool to learn new things that it's cool to see how theater can live on even when we're not together. So that's been really great to still be able to work on my craft while being on a computer. So that's been great. I've been getting a lot more work though, considering, so I've just been kind of like you said, Monica, just taking the time to read new plays, find new monologues. My teachers have been really helpful with that too, of like sending us exercises to do, things to do, so that we don't just sit around and take time off, because it's a great opportunity to work on stuff.
That's great. No, and again, thank you for the piece that you submitted. That, like I said, it gave me chills. And Monica's as well. Everybody that submitted work this time, it was less than the last time, but I thought it was so powerful, everything you guys put out there. So again, thank you all for that. So Edwin Aguila, Beraud, Monica Tatacoya, and Allison Earl. I hope I pronounced your names correctly or close.
You got it.
Yeah, I really want to thank you all for first of all taking the time to submit your work, and also taking the time to be on our call tonight. And like I said, we're going to get this out there in a podcast and also on our YouTube channel, so everybody can find you. And again, if you have anything coming up new, make sure you let us know about that, and we will definitely highlight it for you. So thank you all for joining our call tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Much appreciated.